Hello everyone and welcome to another Thomas video. So today we're taking a look at Rakdos Scam deck in Thomas format. So this deck comes from Sandroll. They decided to share it in the Discord, and I want to take a look at this deck because, to their surprise, they've been doing pretty well. So I want to check it out. I did change the deck ever so slightly, and instead of a Fury, I'm going to be playing Troll of Khazad-dûms, Bitter Triumph, and I'm also going to be playing 4 copies of Deathrite Shamans instead of the Nether Goyf. So obviously, we're going to be scamming our opponent here with the Grief and Reanimate and Malakir's Rebirth, but as for the other creatures, we're going to be playing things like Barogoyf and Pyrogoyf in the same deck. What's really cool about these two cards together is that the Pyrogoyf triggers on the Barogoyf entering the battlefield, which means that when the Barogoyf enters the battlefield, the Pyrogoyf says that whenever this creature or another Lurgoyf creature enters, that creature deals damage equal to its power to any target. That means when the Barogoyf enters, Pyrogoyf triggers, and then the Barogoyf deals that damage to any target that you want, which means that damage is going to have Death Touch and Lifelink, which is really cool. One thing this deck originally had was a Nether Goyf, and as you'd expect, it's going to trigger the Pyrogoyf when the Nether Goyf comes down. The reason I went for Deathrite Shaman instead is because this deck isn't even playing Dark Ritual or Chrome Mox. So I just felt that we needed something like a Deathrite Shaman so that we can safely ramp into our 4 mana cards or even 3 mana cards after we scam our opponent with our Grief a bunch of times. Otherwise, card that you could play instead of something like a Ragavan or Deathrite Shaman is the Dark Ritual. I decided not to play the Dark Ritual because I just think the Deathrite Shaman is a really good card at the moment. Plus, if you replace a Ragavan, it does make our sideboard really bad because we do also have 4 Cups of Fury, which is going to be for the energy matchup. The energy matchup without the Fury is going to be really, really bad if you're going to be playing something like a Scam. So that's why I opted for Ragavan and Deathrite Shaman instead of something like a Dark Ritual, because I think the energy matchup for this deck is going to be really, really bad. So thanks to that, I'm going to be hopping over to some Thomas Special 3 to show you guys what the deck does. So let's hop over. Right, let's try this out. Oh, we already have a Grief. Okay. Well, we get to lose 1 less life. By doing so. Dragon Ray Channelers and bunch of Mishra's Bubble. I guess we can take away a Dragon Ray Channeler and maybe a Brainstorm. I would say that was a pretty good turn. Pyrogoyf's already 3-4. So this is a land that they're going to be drawing. The land goes in and this is going to be a 4-5. That's pretty sick. So opponent keeps it on top. Ooh, that's gonna miss out on the Pyrogoyf next turn. That's kind of bad. Instant speed. Instant speed. Is there a creature? Too bad I can't eat and then block. Am I right? Still pretty decent. Wow, they killed that instead of the Deathray Shaman. Bitter Triumph. Pyro Goyf. Oh man. That is sick. Whoa, it got stronger. Orcish Bowmaster as well. Pretty sick. Unholy Heat. I mean... Oh, they are super dead. So even if they do have a removal spell for this, we can just Malakir's Rebirth. Better Triumph our own creature into Malakir's Rebirth. Boop. Okay, a lot of 1-mana spells coming out. How good is Fury? I mean, I guess it's okay. Also, they're not playing Loris, so they might bring the Magus of the Moon or Blood Moon for me, potentially. Honestly, I feel like we don't sideboard. Yeah, I'm gonna be real, I don't think we sideboard. I mean, maybe potentially like Thoughtseize. Thoughtseize for 2 Cups of Fury, maybe. Yeah, sure. The thing is, I can't bring just 2 copies, right? If I'm gonna be bringing Fury, I have to bring like 4 copies of it. Okay. I might go Ragavan turn 2, maybe? Never mind. I'm just gonna play out the Ragavan because opponent didn't play put down a Shockland. Wow. So I'm guessing they didn't find a removal spell, and then they're like, okay, I'm just gonna lose to Ragavan, so I'm just gonna get out. Okay, no scamming, but we do have a curve, so I think I'm just going to rock with this. Springleaf Drum, Mock Soulpull, Metallic Rebuke. I think it has to be Mock Soulpull, right? And then we just resolve Orcish Bowmaster next turn after they play Springleaf Drum. That would be... This is a very, very tough place to be for opponent there. So... They're gonna get an Mox Opal here. I think I just run out the Baragoyf. Because even if a Kappa Cannoneer comes down, you know, I still have a 4/5 life linker. I can like stall for a bit, you know. A very interesting play opponent made. I think I'm just going to get rid of that. Play a Baragoyf again and attack. Because I want to play my Pyrogoyf next turn, no matter what. And then into a Baragoyf. And what that enables is a Death Touch, Lifelink, Pyrogoyf. Okay, Kappa Cannoneer comes out. Gonna play my Pyrogoyf on the Emissary. Or should I go face? What if I go face? Okay, let's say I go face. Attack with the Baragoyf. That's 10 damage. Opponent goes to 7. Maybe I go face. Yeah, maybe I go face here. Another Pinnacle Emissary. The opponent has a lot of blockers. Okay. They have 3 blockers. I get rid of the Pinnacle Emissary, and then I attack. They block the 2 Pyros. They take 4 damage. Let's say I get rid of a Emery. I don't know. Need my opponent to be greedy. Greedy! Become greedy! Become greedy! Darn. They did not become greedy there. Okay, there's already a land in there. Looks like I have to Baragoyf the Dawn Monitor. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I think I have to do that. This is 12 damage. So I do this, I go to 14. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have to kill the Dom under here. And one artifact is that means that they go to 13 damage. Very nice. GG's. Goyf does it again. Goyf does it again. Very nice. So last time I tried rolling Vortex against them, it wasn't as good as I thought. Because I had Furies and whatnot. But I want to try again because we have things like Goyf to gain back some life, right? So I want to try it. I think Ragavan out. We gotta cut 5 cards, huh? Bitter out. Yeah, we'll only bring like 2 Furies then. I think I'm gonna go down on Malakir's Rebirth, going second. It's a bit greedy, but we are on the draw, so. Double Strip Mines. Strip Mine is not very good against our opponent here. But rolling Vortex this early might be pretty good. That is unfortunate. Well, there goes all my rolling Vortex action. Okay. Let's grief. Let's see. Okay, so Tamio and a Thoughtcast. I think I want to get rid of a Thoughtcast, maybe? It would be kind of bad if they draw a land here. And I'll play the Overgrown Tomb into a Troll Custom because I'm not really sure if I'm going to be able to play the Molten Collapse next turn. But just in case, right? So they didn't draw land. It would be very nice if I can draw a fetch land, but even if I can't, I think I'm okay with it. I'll come to terms. I could greet it, so I wait. Yeah, I could greet it, but I probably have to play Molten Collapse right now. Or I could get rid of a Mox Opal, maybe. Let's say they drew a land, and then this last card is a Kappa Cannoneer, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they can exactly cast it. I think I have to kill it. I could have gotten rid of a Mox Opal, but I'm sure they're gonna draw land, right? I'm sure they're gonna draw land. They found a land. Let's see if I can find a Grief before I play the Rolling Vortex. I got a better Goyf. I think I'm just playing another Barrel Goyf here. Into a Shaman. Kappa Cannoneer comes out. And now... we're going to start deploying our Roiling Vortex. Oh, they have to block. That's funny. Yet another Barrel. Oh, I actually made a mistake. I could have actually gotten another Strip Mine trigger. I forgot we had a Deathray Shaman. Wow, what a card, by the way. Okay, we have a Reanimate. Very nice. So we got a couple of choices here. Do I Reanimate or go straight into Deathray Shaman? We'll see about that. We'll see about that. Okay, so we can get rid of both the Brainstorm here. 2 Brainstorms. Or I can let them keep a Brainstorm and then just get rid of a Psychic Frog. And go into straight into Deathray Shaman so we can go into Orcish Bowmaster next turn. Ooh, wow. What a top deck. So now they can transform the Cameo instantly. Very nice. Very nice top deck there. We have 4 copies of Planeswalker removal spell in this deck. So hopefully we find it. And hopefully we draw land here.
This will be a boon to my research. Use your words.
So we didn't draw land. I'm gonna actually keep this. I think land is actually pretty nice here. We can go Psychic Frog. Get a Psychic Frog. Because I need to see if opponent's gonna draw a removal. Or drew a removal, I mean. It's a Thought Scour. Okay. On pluses.
Respect the library.
Back there. So they draw like an Orcish Bowmaster after that Thought Scour. That's unfortunate. That is most unfortunate what happened.
That tome is one of a kind. Use the path to plant.
Okay, so they're gonna draw 3 cards. They're gonna give up Tameo for that. Sure. Psychic Frog as well. Wow. Wow. Sure is tough, isn't it? Bum. So the Psychic Frog can grow up to like a lot of power here. Why are they discarding now? What's happening? I don't get it. Okay, I see. I feel like that was very expensive, by the way. They just gave me 2 cards for free.
I am not defenseless.
So I'm actually quite happy about that. Okay, attack. It's a fatal push.
Clearly, you're not here to learn.
This is a bit tough, huh? I wonder if this game would have been any different if I played a little bit differently and then had an Orcish Bowmaster instead. I'm sure it would have been. I think so. I think it would have been. Wow. I'm actually kind of surprised they play Drowned Lock. I'm gonna bring 2 copies of Disruptor Flute. Maybe that's it. Potentially a Magus. Cyber out the Ragavans. I haven't seen a Drowned Lock in a hot minute. Alright. I think we get rid of a Molten Collapse because we don't have red mana. Do they have a Drown in the Lock again? I could take away like Chrome Mox. And maybe a Brainstorm. Maybe a Brainstorm. And then we Strip Mine, attack with a Grief bunch of times. They're gonna take away our Reanimate. I could have just chanced it and then played a Goyf, but yeah, not that good. If they draw land, that is. Good thing I played a Strip Mine there. A Thoughtseize. Short. Alright. So, opponent is playing a deck with Inquisition and Thoughtseize in a blue-black deck. Plus, they're also playing, I don't know how many copies of Orchestral Masters they're playing, but they're also playing Drown in the Log on top of a Mana Drain. Definitely an interesting deck for sure. Might be our first mulligan. I mean, maybe not. I can kind of delay the game a little bit with the Strip Mine, but it looks like they're also not playing anything on turn 1, so yep. The opponent tops it. I'll play a Strip Mine here. I want to play a Deathray Shaman. Ooh, they milled 2 lands with the Thought Scour. Into an Inquisition. Looks like Goyf is coming out here, which is sick. Yeah, looks like Goyf is coming out here. Into a Treasure Cruise. Ooh. What should I do? In case opponent has a Strip Mine, I think I should fetch another red mana. I feel like I need to play the Grief here, right? Double Toxic Deluge. Ouch. Well, that kinda sucks. The opponent is going to Orcish Bowmaster here. We found a strip mine, which is really nice. Let's also get rid of that. I think we might have won. Those strip mines really helped us. Oh no, never mind. It's still going. It's still going. Okay. We have a game. They do have to take 5 damage. They did have to take 5 damage there. Yeah.
Curious. I must investigate this scroll further.
Polluted Delta. No thank you. The opponent's looking at my graveyard. Oh, wow. That is a great card. That is a great card. Do we reanimate the Grief or Goyf? I think we get Goyf. Get rid of that treasure cruise. A flute. A flute. Kind of interesting. Let's attack with the Goyf first. I am going to... I guess we just have to do this. Hopefully we draw land, right? The problem is that with the Psychic Frog, I need to kill it first, and then I need to, and then I can get rid of something. I could have potentially, like, Molten Collapse the Psychic Frog. So close. Right? So close. Looks like they're gonna draw a bunch of cards. So right now, I am one card that I'm looking for is a fetch land. A fetch land would go very, very hard. Last card's a Fatal Push. Oh wow. GG's. Pleasantly surprised. Ooh, this hand... The first hand we're seeing that I'm kind of like... it's kind of weak, you know? The first time I'm kind of like... maybe this is a mulligan. Yeah. Much better. Deathray Shaman. Deathray Shaman. Because I have a reanimate, I think I go with the Thoughtseize first. They are also reanimate deck. Well, that kinda sucks, isn't it? They're playing Sorin and Baragoyf in a single deck. So we just chump block one of the Baragoyfs and... yep. Ooh, they play Orcish Bowmaster too. So this is kind of bad. Man, the difference between going first and second is just so crazy, right? Look at what happened this game. It's kind of insane. It's kind of insane. Another Deathray Shaman comes out. Sure. I think it's always better to just get one of your guys out. So they also have like a better board with double Deathray Shamans. I do have a Baragoy. Another Reanimate. So they can get rid of sorcery speed. And then the Baragoyf is gonna become 2 power. I think I still attack anyways because I have another Reanimate. Wow, they didn't use the Deathray Shaman. Take the bait. Take it. Thank you. Okay. We do have a little bit of a problem. So, let's say I polluted Delta here for a overgrown tomb. Opponent is immediately going to strip mine. Which isn't so bad, I want to say. They did not. Okay. Ragavan. Ragavan. Okay, so let's see what opponent does here. I think I can pass one more turn. Let's see if opponent uses their Deathray Shaman. If they don't, I think that's still fine. Because I also don't have to use Deathray Shaman, so... Because I don't know if I can use the Bitter Triumph on the Deathray Shaman because I'm already gaining life with the Goyf, but if Sheldred comes out, I'm dead, basically. So I wasn't really sure if I could use it. I think I want Fury. They also play a One Ring, right? So I want Disruptor Flute. And I want a Surgical. Fury. It's really good against, like, small creatures. Ragavan out. Wait a minute. If I get rid of Ragavan, though, Fury is gonna be very bad. I only have 8. Maybe I'll play Magus too. 8 Discord spells. Okay, maybe not Furies. Maybe I'll only bring 2 copies. I'll go down on a copy of Malakir. I think I'm gonna keep it. Just because we have a strip mine. Like, this is like a 4 land with a strip mine. I don't think it's like too bad. It's a reanimate. Okay. That's not good. That is not good at all. That is not good at all. I guess if they, like, mill 2 cards, I can reanimate one of them. Like, 2 creatures. Okay, they did a mill. We did get a troll, though. Troll's not bad. Seems like they have another Dark Ritual. I would say that's a pretty good blocker. So they had a Sheldred there. They have another Reanimate. It's kind of a feels bad, man moment, I would say. At least the Barragoyf is kinda making it bearable. So I'm not gonna die next turn. Right? Goyf. So they're dead next turn. Let's say I grab a swamp. And I'm dead. There is enough lands. Wow. Wow. That was a close one. So this version of the deck, I am honestly not that much of a fan of a scam per se, but in a mid-range environment where opponents playing like 1 card per turn, things like that, that's when like Grief becomes really, really good. Very, very bad into energy, but you do have 4 Cups of Furies, a Blood Moon, Magus of the Moon to bring in. That is basically going to be our sideboard plan versus them. If you see like a Mardu energy, the Fury is very interesting because this deck doesn't play that many red mana cards. So currently in the main deck we have 10 copies. So if you slot in the Furies, that's going to become 14 copies. So all of a sudden Fury becomes really good. And against like some matchups where you want to even bring things like Rolling Vortex or Magus of the Moon or Blood Moon, it becomes even better. So I don't know how many of you guys actually knew Goyf dealt Death Touch lifelink damage if a Barragoyf came down. Because I don't play Legacy, right, or Commander, this is the first time I've actually found out that was the case, like just yesterday. Which is kind of funny because with just 1 damage with the Barragoyf, it kills things like Shaldred or reanimate targets. So that's really fun. But yeah, this deck doesn't play any acceleration, as you can see. Turns out if you just have a 0 mana discard spell, it can still work without things like Chrome Moxes, Ancient Tombs, or even Dark Ritual. Like notice that we don't even play Dark Ritual. And the reason why this deck doesn't play Dark Ritual is, again, with the Grief, you go down on cards a lot, pigeonholed into playing a lot of scam cards like Malakir's Rebirth. What ends up happening is if you have things like Dark Ritual, you suddenly get into these top deck positions where you start drawing bad cards. So instead of a Ragavan, you could be drawing a Dark Ritual, things like that. Like, can you imagine drawing a Ragavan after you, like, Grief your opponent? Like, both players don't have any cards, and then you top deck a Ragavan, and that is so good. So things like that. Same with the Deathrite Shaman, the concept is very similar. 1 mana threat, right? To pressure your opponent's graveyard and their life total. That's really all I have to say about the deck. This deck, the original list of this deck, used to have a Nethergoyf instead of a Deathrite Shaman. The sick thing about the Nethergoyf is that it is a Goyf, so it does trigger the Goyf. That's something to consider, but considering that this deck plays 22 lands with the Malakir's Rebirth, and we have another 2 copies of Troll of Khazad-dûm, technically consider this like as a 24, but I kind of treat it as like a 22 without the Troll. Maybe if you consider the Troll and then not the Malakir's Rebirth, and then because you want to use this as a spell, 21. So in between like 21 and 22, I would say like on average. Let's say we have like 22 lands total. That's not enough to cast things like Pyrogoyf, I would say. So Deathrite Shaman, I feel like is very much necessary compared to something like a Nethergoyf. I think Nethergoyf is cute, the Pyrogoyf, but it's a bit greedy in this deck. And 2 copies of Bitter Triumph. The reason why I'm playing this is because, let's say I can't cast a Pyrogoyf, then I can discard this and then reanimate it. Things like that. So yeah, that is gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye bye.